Steve Mignani here doing the junkyard crawl. Here's the thing. Back on October 13th, 2021, there was an online-only event called the Great Texas Mopar Hoard Auction Event. These are some highlights of vehicles from the John Haney collection in Texas. In particular, these are 5 62 through 64 Mopar vehicles that would make great super stocks. And check this out. These cars all sold on October 13th, 2021. So they're gone. They're not available. Again, don't bid, don't even try. But these are great walk-around videos. And check this out. Every one of these cars sold for under $1,000. So Mopar super stockers are fantastic cars. The real things are hard to find, but the cars, the clone building material is all in these videos. So check them out. There's 5 of them. Roll the tape, but don't bid because this is history. But again, enjoy the videos. Auctioneer's Great Texas Mopar Hoard Auction Event with item number 203. This is a 1964 Dodge 330 4-door sedan. Now, here's the thing. It looks like a parts car, and it is. But hear me out. Those of you out there who love Mopar Max Wedge and Superstock 1964 vehicles know darn well that the 2-door posts are virtually impossible to find. So it's a thing now where folks will buy a 4-door like this, get a set of 2-door hardtop doors, use these frames to then replicate a 2-door post. So this is actually a very valuable core for a 2-door 64 Dodge Max Wedge or Race Hemi clone. With that said, let us now explore this one. The quarter panels on this are the real crux of the issue. Those are things that are very, very important. Very much rust-free. Let's take a peek with our little magnet here. Wonderful. No rust. This has not been rolled. The fender lip is in great shape. The magnet sticks all the way around. And again, this is stuff you will need for that 2-door conversion. Quarter panel is fantastic, rolls under all the way. There are no holes. This is a wonderful quarter panel. Let's now go to the other side and take a peek there. The trunk floor, okay, yeah, we do have some perforation down through here. I can put my hand through it. But again, trunk floors for these things are available reproduction. The real challenge is finding the core vehicle in the first place. This quarter panel, equally nice, good and solid. A little bit of bubbling down low. This orange stuff you see here, that will be a hole in 5 years or so. But again, this is first generation rust, so to speak. It's not putty. It's not been covered. No effort to hide anything. And again, the rear of this car, the tail, is the money. Here's the B-pillar, and yes, the 2-door and 4-door use the same B-pillar. This area here would be welded shut, and again, the 2 doors from a hardtop would be merged in here. This would be moved back, and believe me, it is done. Absolutely, you take a 4-door and turn it into a 2-door. This one was born a 3-speed manual on the column. There's that stuff. The floor is pretty bad. It's rotten, gone, but that's okay. Once again, the parts are available, the patch panels. And this being a 330, there's the original rubber floor mat. You Max Wedge and Race Hemi guys know this stuff is very hard to find and wonderful. Even though that's wasted, it's kind of cool to see. Up in the front here, the cowl is in really good shape. Somebody has sliced away the inner fender here. It's gone, but the cowl is beautiful right there. There's no rust in this area. This is a nice cowl. The inner fender on this side is really good. The K-frame has been harvested. This was probably a Poly 318 car. The inner fender here is present, the shock tower. Here's the one of the torsion bars, and we'll pass through gingerly, Ryan. It's kind of step lively, good sir. And it's kind of nice. The originality, here's the dust boot for the passenger side ball joint or, tie rod end right there. That's pretty cool. This is a nice original piece. Again, the cowl, very solid inside of here. Good stuff. The door is looking very good. A little bit of rust here, but again, this door could be stretched, or again, if you found a set of 2-door hardtop doors, which are pretty easy to find, you then take this frame, stretch it, and use it along with this pillar. But again, this is item number 203. Yes, 203, a 1964 Dodge 330. And again, this is kind of a specialized item. This is for those guys who want to take the 4-door, turn it into a 2-door, and reconstruct a Race Hemi or Max Wedge clone. Year's Great Texas Mopar Hoard Auction Event with item number 288. Now, it may not look like too much at first blush, but this is a 1964 Plymouth Fury 2-door hardtop. Let's remember, of course, this is the basic car that Richard Petty won the 1964 Daytona 500 in, this essential body type. And again, the two-door B-body Mopar, a thing of beauty in 1964. Now this one here is fairly rust-free. Let's see how she looks with the magnet. This area looks like it's bodywork, but that's metal, all very nice. The bottom of the door all the way back is metal. The rocker panel is very, very good. No rust down low. And the quarter panels on this one are very nice. I mean, here a little bit of surface corrosion, but again, the magnet sticks very nicely. This is not a Bondo buggy. The rear quarter panel here has been rolled. I can feel where somebody probably had some wide tires on this at some point in time, but the magnet sticks very well. Down low, where these things always rot out, we do see a little bit of holes here, perhaps some putty. Yeah, a little bit of putty, but only there. The magnet wants to stick all the way across. And this is a great raw material for building a hot rod, maybe a gasser, an altered wheelbase car, or a super stock clone. It all starts right here. Let's look inside of the trunk. And yeah, the floors look pretty good. No holes. The insides of the quarter panels look very, very good. And again, this is a two-door hardtop. Let's run down the passenger side and see where... Yeah, the quarter panels are nice and solid here. A little bit of rust happening here, but again, there are patch panels that are readily available. Again, the wheel lip has been rolled, so yes, somebody's hot rod at some point in time. Here's the original two-piece style rear axle still in place, but look at that leaf spring. That's a Mopar super stock leaf spring. See all those leaves? That's not factory stuff. That's from Mopar Performance or Direct Connection, you choose. So this was definitely somebody's drag car at some point in time. And again, the graceful two-door hardtop body, 1964, all new. The quarter panel down low here. A little bit of putty going on, but the magnet sticks. But here we can see a little bit of repair. But again, a little bit of mold or moss. But this stuff here is pretty nice. You almost want to move the wheelbase, turn this into a funny car, move everything up into here. This is a great raw material car to do that with. Inside, okay, 3-speed manual on the column. Pretty uncommon for a two-door hardtop to see that. Here's the grille right here. The grille, the headlight surrounds. These are hard to find, and they're in pretty good shape. Again, 1964 Plymouth stuff. The front bumper is right there. The seats apparently are here. This was a bucket seat car, apparently. And let's go around to the front again. And again, this was born with a unit construction body. There would have been inner fenders here. Somewhere along the line, somebody drilled out the spot welds and harvested the inner fenders. And but that doesn't mean they couldn't be added back in, or just get rid of them, put a straight axle under here, a Hemi, and turn this into a gasser. Be kind of cool. This is a slant 6 engine, 3-speed manual, kind of ho-hum stuff. But again, right here, put a race Hemi, a max wedge, whatever you want, maybe a fiberglass flip nose. And again, this is lot number 288, and the raw material for either a super stock, replica, or an altered wheelbase funny car, a gasser. You can't build those cars without the core, and here it is. Here for Astor Auctioneers and the Great Texas Mopar Hoard Auction Event with item 243, a 1964 Plymouth Belvedere two-door post. Now, if you know your max wedges and your race Hemis, you'll know that 64 and 5 two-door post Dodge and Plymouth cars are as scarce as hen's teeth. Well, here's one right here. Now, this one has been through the ringer. The quarter panels have been sliced out by some butcher, maybe a frustrated altered wheelbase fanatic. A later 8 3/4 with a one-piece axle has been added, but one thing inside that makes this car stunning is the 4-speed transmission hump. Yup, this car was originally built with either a 3-speed manual, which would have been the Borg Warner T85, or the brand new for 64 Chrysler A833 4-speed. That hump right there sets this car apart from the herd. The dashboard's nice. Again, there's a manual transmission car, no buttons over here. That's the block-off plate. This one has a heater. It is not a race Hemi. It's not a max wedge. We know that. I checked the numbers, but it is a Fury two-door post. Let's take a peek under the hood and up front. And again, this is a beautiful example of rust-free Texas metal. Down low here, where you would see rust all the way up, this is absolutely rust-free metal. Beautiful stuff. You just don't see this anymore. All the way up here, the fender is beautiful. A little bit of a dent right there, but that's not a big deal. I'd rather pull that out than deal with rust. And this stuff right here, we call it a Texas suntan. That's not rust. You dual action sand that, prime it, fill it, paint it, you're ready to go. So a beautiful driver's side front fender. Let's go under the hood area. The hood itself is in fantastic shape, also a very much rust-free item. Under the hood, we have manual steering. This would have been a manual drum brake car. And inner fenders and firewall look fantastic. Ordinarily, you look for a lot of rot and corrosion through here. I'm not seeing it. This here is solid and sound. And so are the inner fenders. Never been cut for fender wall headers. But we come around to this side, and here is the standard 10-inch drum brake front suspension, A-OK, torsion bars, etc. And again, the inner fenders on this are in really, really fantastic shape. It's come here to the door. Again, this is a two-door post door. These are incredibly hard to find with a full door frame. The magnet sticks everywhere. That's a wonderful rust-free 64 Plymouth Belvedere door. And again, the full door frame right there. These doors are virtually impossible to find. A lot of guys actually make these doors when they're trying to build a 64 or 5 two-door post. Down low here, the quarter panel is fantastic. Bit of a dent, but no rust. This is virginal, not been rusted. But unfortunately, again, somebody's got in here years and years ago and hogged out the wheel openings. Again, maybe to move it forward like a funny car, don't know. Inside the trunk, okay, a pretty decent trunk floor. It's not rusted at all, but we can see somebody was getting ready to mini tub this car. The wheel tubs have been sliced out and probably, on the way toward putting big fat slicks. They lost interest, who knows. But again, you can easily replicate and replace the missing parts on this one. So again, this is a very rare body. This is a perfect core to build a 64 race Hemi or an altered wheelbase funny car. So it's a fantastic project car waiting to happen. Minimal rust, make the right move and bid strong. It's a good one. Hey, Stephen Young here for Asseter Auctioneers. Great Texas Mopar Hoard auction event. And this is item number 98, which is a 1962 Plymouth Savoy two-door post. Now that's the thing. If you're a super stock Mopar enthusiast, you'll know these two-door posts are very hard to find. Now this one was born a slant 6. There's the head pipe for the leaning tower of power right there, but it's got manual steering, manual drum brakes, and it was a 3-speed on the column car. The underhood area looks really nice. This has not been rusted. It's never had a V8, no cutouts here for fender wall headers. Doesn't mean you couldn't do that. That's what I would go with. The firewall looks really sweet. I don't see any perforations. This is just surface rust. I'll call that a Texas tan. A little bit of bubbling here. Okay, that's not so good, but otherwise, this looks pretty solid in the cowl. These are classic for rusting out in this area, in the New England area and the Rust Belt. That stuff is gone. The grille is very nice. The headlight surrounds are pretty decent. These are available in reproduction. The bumper's pretty decent. The bumper guards are a little touch. Nice if you like glitz. If you're a Max Wedge guy, these things don't belong, but that's okay. The grille's beautiful. Not a bad piece at all. Front fender, again, has surface rust. We'll call that a Texas suntan. A little bit of rust down here, but again, banged up a bit, but surface rust. This could be straightened. I'd rather straighten metal like this than fix rust. Speaking of which, down here, not too bad. A little bit of a blister right there. The door, yeah, a little bit of raunch right here, but could be worse. It's a Plymouth, again, two-door post, and this is all surface right here. The door is nice underneath. I don't find any holes. Good stuff. Let's open her up and see inside. And okay, this is not... Yeah, right here. This is where the parking pole would go. So this was born a 3-speed manual on the column. We can see the clutch and brake pedals down low. Here is somebody's effort to put in a floor shifter, probably a Hurst Indy or something like that. Underneath this stuff here, there's the hole. But this would have had a column shifted 3-speed manual. The buckets are not factory. Somebody's put them in there. But the floors look pretty decent. Again, this is a core for a Max Wedge clone waiting to happen. The two-door post body, again, is Max Wedge stuff. The quarter panel's down low. Yeah, a little hole there, but again, this patch material is available, no problem. The wheel lip is nice. It's never been rolled over for big fat tires. Still has the standard two-piece rear axle, which is a love-it-hate-it situation. It is correct for a max wedge or slant six car, and there it is. The quarter panel's down low. Not too bad. A little bit of bubbling right here. Let's get the magnet out and see if there's any putty in this area. And no. And this is the original black paint, I would dare say. That's wonderful. Rear bumper looks to be pretty straight. No problem there. Single tail lamps on these low-level Savoys. The Furies would have had two. The trunk looks pretty decent. The floor is underneath all this stuff. Let's see what we got. Okay. That could be a lot worse. It looks pretty decent. You can see here, if we saw the ground, we'd say, well, rust bomb. But this is not too bad at all. Let's come down this side here, and the quarter panel, once again, has some holes down low. You can see right here, you can pull that bottle through. So down low. But again, I'd rather see that than rust up in through here. And there are patch panels available for that. The wheel lip looks fantastic. Very nice. It's still there underneath. It's not rusted at all. Down here, yeah, a little bit of rust. Once again, break out the welder and patch that baby up. Inside, okay, the door doesn't want to open. But again, here's that all-important two-door post body style that the Max Wedge guys go crazy for. The door is quite nice. I don't see any rust at all. That area, a little bit right here, some blistering. Front fender on the passenger side, beautiful down here. These are always rotten here, but not this one. Again, Texas suntan, a little bit of dents. You could pull those out, panel beat that, and be all good. So here we have it, item number 98, a 62 Plymouth Savoy, the entry-level B-body. Again, first year for Plymouth's B-body, 1962. But what you do with this thing is put together a Max Wedge, a 413 cross-ram engine, and have yourself a nice super stock clone. Bid away. Steve Mignani here for Astor Auctioneers and the Great Texas Mopar Hoard Auction Event. This is item number 89. It's a 1964 Plymouth Belvedere two-door post. These are incredibly in demand for folks who want to build 64 and 5 race Hemi clone vehicles. Well, the good news is it's a two-door post. The bad news, it's been rolled over. You can see right here at some point in time it took a tumble on its lid. But that said, the grille is fairly decent. I mean, it somehow survived the impact. The outers are not so nice, but a grille, again, that grille is very nice. Pop the hood and see what we got under the hood. No race Hemi here. There it is, the 318 Poly engine. But this one does have heavy-duty cooling, and this metal fan shroud right here is very much in demand with folks who build the 64, 5, and 6 sort of race Hemi clone vehicles, super stockers. The 318 Poly, two-barrel carburetor, push-button torque flight automatic transmission. And then let's take a peek inside. Let's see here. Okay, and again, here's that all-important two-door post body style right here. Pop that door open. And yeah, this one was a push-button torque flight car, not radio delete. It has an aftermarket AM FM type radio in place. The bench seat is here. Let's go around the back. And again, the nice part here is the quarter panels are wonderful on this car. If this hadn't rolled on its lid, it would be a very, very special car. In fact, it still is, for that matter. The rear quarter panels looks pretty good. A little bit of a dent here. The deck lid is in great shape, has not been harmed by the rollover. Here it is right here. And here we have the Belvedere logo. Tail light in place. Rear bumper not too bad. Here on the passenger side, we can see where the scrapes took their toll. But again, the quarter panels down low are wonderful. It's really a shame this car wound up on its lid. Here's some road rash from that flip over. But down here, nice and solid. It is a little bit bowed. Again, the car has been tweaked from that rollover. But again, as lot number 89, you could buy this for parts. There is still some good stuff. Or if you're brave like me, you could dig in and make this car whole again, either as a 64 race Hemi or Max Wedge clone, or as an altered wheelbase funny car. Raw material is right here.